to get clients in your Reiki business. This week's episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast is about getting clients. You know, this is such a popular topic when we talk about Reiki business, and everyone wants to know, how do I get clients? How do I get more clients? And so often we will offer recommendations like, well, have you tried this? Oh, give this a try. Oh, have you thought about this? Or, oh, I do this particular thing. Maybe it will work for you. And so we often give recommendations for other Reiki practitioners to try that are almost kind of like random, popcorn kind of style. Try this, give this a try. What did you think about this? Have you done this? But I think that we can look at getting clients as a system that we can implement, or actually even really systems that we can implement in our Reiki business. Now, a system, of course, is something that we implement to do a certain thing. So maybe I might have a system for organizing my dishes in my kitchen and my cupboards. Maybe I might have a system for organizing my spice rack, or a system for organizing the books on my shelf. And so we use systems all of the time in all kinds of areas of our life, but we don't often talk about using systems in our Reiki business for getting clients. This week's episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast talks about using systems for getting clients in our Reiki business. You can tune in at standingstoneshealing.com/podcast. And if you are tuning in later on YouTube, I will drop the link in the notes below so that you can, well, actually, I guess on YouTube now, in the notes on the side, so that you can tune in and check out that episode directly. But when I say systems in our Reiki business, this is what I mean. I mean taking the time to intentionally reflect upon some things that we would like to implement in our Reiki business to do again and again and again, with the intention of helping us to get clients. Now, it could look something like this. Let's say that you want to get clients and you implement a system to go live on Facebook every Monday. And your system is that you will go live on Monday at 9 a.m. and anyone who drops a comment or who drops a comment, if you post it on YouTube or wherever, this would work better on Facebook because you can direct message the person, but they drop a comment, and everyone who comments, you reach out to them with a DM and say, thank you so much for joining my live. I would love to offer you a free session as a thank you. And then at the end of that free session, you can offer them a package of sessions that they can purchase. This is a system where you are intentionally going through a few steps with the aim to bring clients into your Reiki business. Now, is this particular system a good system or not? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. That's up for you to try it out if you want to. I don't know. I just made that up. But this kind of a system is something that we would implement with the intention of using it systematically, habitually. So something that we do again and again and again. I'll give you another example. Let's say that at the end of all of your Reiki sessions, you intentionally ask the person if they would like to come back, or you even invite them to schedule again. So this might look something like, hey, Judy, thank you so much for meeting with me today. It was wonderful to see you. And Judy, I know that right now, let's say 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, I know that Tuesday at 11 was a really good time for you for today's session. Is that a good time for you for our next session? And so inviting the person to set again. By the way, if that feels weird, like, oh, I shouldn't just assume that Judy wants to come back. Why not? Why wouldn't you assume that Judy wants to come back? And if Judy doesn't want to come back, Judy will say something like, oh, well, let me check my schedule. Now, that doesn't mean that she doesn't want to come back necessarily. Maybe she really does have to check her schedule. But, oh, well, let me check my schedule, or, oh, I don't know, we'll see, or, well, only this Tuesday was good for me. Tuesdays aren't usually good for me. So if Judy doesn't want to come back, she'll give you the subtle signals that you can take as cues. But there's nothing wrong with assuming that our clients want to come back. And so it's absolutely okay to ask them if they want to come back and to even assume that they want to come back. But a simple, very simple system is something as easy as at the end of a session, just asking them when they would like to book again. That's a system. If we get into doing it over and over and over again, and we make it automatic, and we make it even almost habitual, something that we just simply do, and it becomes a system that we implement for getting clients. Now, I also recommend that after you try a system a few times, to assess it and to see how it's going, and to wait a few times and really give it an honest try a few times before you determine whether or not it's a good system. So what that means is that if you have Judy in your Reiki room and you say at the end of the session, well, Judy, 11 o'clock on a Tuesday would be great to see you again. Does that work for you? I have this Tuesday open at 11 o'clock. And Judy's like, get me the hell out of here. Now, it doesn't mean that anything is wrong with your system. And I'm going to encourage you not to judge the system as a bad system if you try it once and it doesn't work out. Truth be told, usually most things that we try in our Reiki business don't work out well the first time. So I want to encourage us to, when we consider implementing a new system and giving something a try, to do it a few times before we determine whether or not it's something that we want to continue with. And so if we go live on one Monday morning at 9 o'clock and no one shows up, which absolutely is very common, go live again and try it again. If you DM the people and they ignore you, try it again, but give it a good try several times before you determine whether or not a system is any good, because anything might not work the first 2 or 3 times that we give it a try. So when we're talking about client getting systems, I encourage us to not just try it once, but to try it a few times and to see how it works for us for our client sessions. Now, of course, you can tune in at standingstoneshealing.com/podcast for more on systems for getting clients, or you can check out the direct YouTube video in the notes where you can go there straight away to tune into that particular episode. So do you use any systems in your Reiki business for getting clients? What kind of systems do you use? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. We would love to hear your tips on getting clients. Sending so many blessings and best wishes to your client getting systems.